for the lovely 5D collective. It has been quite the journey, the beginning of the year. Getting to this lovely 9-9 portal, you've done a lot of growth, a lot of awareness on where you are at, where you want to be, and what you are giving to yourself and to others, and the balancing of compassion and consistently expanding your oversoul versus what the 4D collective and others who are not functional adults do. We put that to the side because here we're all functional adults. So that means we know no person, no human being is their greatest mistake. And there you go, 9 of Pentacles on the floor. On the floor, why? Because everybody can fall and get back up. Not for pretend. So no devil, no evil. If we use the word evil, it's a scale that indicates all people who could use a very good series of years and years, maybe of therapy, but they need to want to move out of their trickery energy, which is a self-sabotage that isn't a self-sabotage. As we discussed in a lot of videos, your experiences create aspects that your implicit memory brings up. So compassion is in the lead for the 5D collective because we do want to help the human race, and that's all people, and nobody is born with a devil inside them. They're born with an embodied brain. And that embodied brain, if not wielded well, is not because somebody didn't want to. And that's something that is humanity with good trauma informed, not the energy vampire stuff that 4D or karmics and third parties. So your oversoul expands, and you have expanded. You've expanded and you have moved into your own ability to know why you want to be a functional adult, compassionate, independently from the past you carry. You know you're not your greatest mistake. You also know you have a heart like anybody else, and that even if indecision made you do things, if you will, that you today are not necessarily proud of, you understand how to work through the shame feeling. And you understand that it means to also gather yourself up and keep moving forward with those lovely pentacles, and building, though, with people who know you're not your greatest mistake. So who's perfect here? Anybody raise your hand, please? Nobody's perfect. This is why we don't need yoga, some of us, to know that it's okay to be our own piece of Purusha Prakriti. Others, it's thanks to yoga or thanks to spirituality practices that you've been able to create a relationship with your body. As Bessel van der Kolk points out, you can only start to heal, to move into more of you once you can sit with the sensations of your body and the emotions of trauma memory or the actual emotional disconnect. I don't know it because I don't have that experience. I don't come from a dissolving of shame button. I come from a love button. That's all I know. I know how to dissolve when people get nasty because I know that they're not their true self. Being yourself is about, first of all, you getting to have insight into yourself. As Daniel Siegel points out in the Mind Sight Lens that he teaches in the interpersonal neurobiology course that I'm finishing up, the lens has insight into yourself as one of the pod's little thingies to keep, he says like a lens stands on a pod. Then there's empathy when I'm with somebody else, but it's not in empathy, it's in compassion using my prefrontal cortex, which is why third is integration. Integration equals differentiation and linking. So differentiation means that there's a me and there's a you and there's a me we. And so I can stand here with my thoughts and opinions and feelings and everything as a Zen master, and you can stand however you want. So when you poke at me, quote unquote, and let's say you're a person who's not yet aware that you're playing a game because you don't know that you have unresolved trauma, that you have charged states because you look at the movies like so many people do. Stereotypes. I've disliked them since I was a teenager. Yes, very much so. Because they limit human consciousness and expansion, and anybody who uses them usually uses them because they're limiting somebody else or themselves. And lo and behold, they think it's true. Why? Because what are they doing? They're in a charged state. What does anger do? Anger is one of our threat emotions, but it gives people this attitude of, oh, I think I'm right. Let me keep moving forward with my little battlefield. Okay, so enough about that, because their energy, the 4D collective, and anybody who's in an adaptive child who's actually convinced there's our one focus minds and the ones who are enamored with themselves, and I think of traditional cults and culty cults, and Anybody who's a Zen master is going to see right through that one who says, I'm anointed. No, we're all anointed, please. Thank you very much. There's a lot of honor that comes from being able to be a channeler for me, even though I've moved beyond, again, that supernatural. It's a relationship with the energy, but I am a 5D mystic and I love the woo-woo stuff. And it ain't woo-woo, but it's woo-woo, okay? It's okay for it to be woo-woo. Long story short, you've created a specific type of relationship with it too. You know that there's BS behind people talking about energy vampires, dark auras, and all that, and it feels really disrespectful and unkind and unnecessary. So you've come to the arrival, one way, shape, or form, about how, yes, spirituality important. It's not why you maintain or achieve your own Purusha Prakriti, your mind, your energy body, your physical body alignment. This is you, a human being, choosing how to handle yourself. And this begins since forever, but your experiences built your past. People who don't know how to recognize that they're playing a game is most people, because most people don't believe in humanity and they don't go and learn about the attachment system, and they have educators who tell them that emotions are stupid, and they don't have the relationship with the emotional body because there's a disconnect, because emotions are overwhelming, because a body that doesn't learn how to be with the 6 basic emotions will find any emotion overwhelming. Here's the difference. A love button, no emotions overwhelming. The one that is my least favorite is fear, because it's really, really uncomfortable. And as Julianne points out, that's the moment that when you're uncomfortable, you're being given the opportunity, even though she's talking about regret. People who regret, they don't go into the feelings. I'm just talking about feelings in general. And we get to put that hand in the mouth of the lion. That's that strength card. And Daniel Siegel, all the therapists, so Bessel van der Kolk, once you can sit with your sensations, that's when you can start to talk about aspects, but you also get to start integrating. So differentiation and linking, there's a variety of aspects. When you have charged states and your own emotions, you start to differentiate. I'm a person who's having an emotional experience. I'm a person who's having thoughts. The neutrality of duality is this, is you being able to start to enter Dharma because you choose equanimity. The land of truth is always zero, not because you don't have opinions, no, because otherwise you're going to be tainting, and your tainting is going to skew. And since we all have pasts, you're always going to skew it based on the past, which is done well. You don't create a different future. So it's really a choice. The indecision, I want to point out, is not you undecided. The 5D collective knows where they're headed. You've decided to follow your heart. You understand what this means. You understand everything that I just shared. If you have questions, you can reach out. I'll create a spirit. I'll create a free episode or something. Tomorrow we have some retrograde. We have guidance for the retrograde season. The door to spirit, 5. You're human. You get to bring together different parts of you. And when you are achieving that, that's why the independence and your 3 pentacles are where you can give always to others as well, because you're setting up yourself always to be your own safe haven, secure base. And on that note, that is where you unconsciously love who you are with flaws and imperfections, and you know how to handle your own secure base stuff. So you have desires, values, you use your 24 hours in a way that is yay, and then you have time to spare and hang out with people. And so the part about your mastery, for some of you, it's actually just feeling good to be yourself and being around people that love life. Because people who don't love life and humanity, they are a vibration that is in a teenager 1. They don't have to, in fact, have anything. Nothing is, every person is their own state of consciousness. The movies make the adaptive child emotional behaviors seem the norm. They also make the compulsive stuff, drugs, alcohol, sex, food, of the shame cycle, inner critic, outer critic. They also make the inner critic and outer critic rumination the norm. Because you watch people eating their Ben and Jerry's while they're doing what? Drama land. So it's not about that going away necessarily, because people need to see something different. If they want it, they can have it. And that's not ours to share. Ours to share is we love all. We grow our relationships. But of course, you're wanting to grow relationships with people who are Purusha Prakriti, because you know the difference between living mature emotional relationships and tangoing, lovers dance, versus the ones who they tango, but theirs is visceral. Ours is social engagement, ventral vagal state, and having the depths of Krishna Lila, Shiva, and Kali. It's really beautiful to have a very in-depth relationship with people who can feel all of those lovely emotions and talk about them. Direct communication always. No shame, no blame, no fault, and no revenge. And Zen Masters it is. Have a wonderful day.